So let's get started. What am I going to talk about today will be about the bioenergetic system. So we look at the biology, all right? We look at the biology. Where is the bioenergetic system? And then we will look at the field that is generated by this system, all right? So how do we know that it is healthy or unhealthy, strong and weak? So what are the symptoms that it will show, all right, when things go wrong? Okay, and then most importantly, how to use Healy and MAGHEALY to protect, to restore, to cleanse the system. So I actually treat the system like any other organs in the body. Okay, not so it's very important to maintain the health of this bioenergetic system the way we take care as other systems in our body. Okay, and what you will get out of this talk, I hope, is that you will understand that the state of your life, what you experience externally in your day-to-day life, is actually a reflection or a symptom that is actually telling you the state of your field. Okay? Yeah. So let's dive into it. Now, why do I call this term bioenergetic system? Okay, as a biologist, I teach about respiratory system, cardiovascular system, your urinogenital system, your nervous system, all right? So there are so many different systems in the body. But until now, okay, we have not considered the bioenergetic system officially, okay, and teach it. So one day I hope that bio teachers will actually teach this in the official curriculum. Okay, so because bioenergy is what? Bioenergy is vital for survival. Without this without bioenergy, right, we can't be alive. So what is biology without the bioenergy? Okay, so what is this bioenergetic system? Firstly, it comprises of energy centers in our system. Officially, the most mentioned ones are the 7 energy system, all right, starting from the root chakra, the red color one below, and then after that, the orange one, the sacral chakra. Then you have the solar plexus chakra, heart chakra, throat chakra, third eye chakra, and then the crown chakra. Now, these are the energy centers that is constantly supplying bioenergy to this particular being. Okay, now each of these chakras here, okay, is associated with certain aspects of our life. For example, the root chakra, okay, is associated with our sense of security. Okay, so if this particular center is weakened, then we will feel the opposite, which is insecurity. You don't feel safe, all right? Yeah. And then it will affect your relationship with your mother. Okay, then the second one here is the sacral chakra, which is has associated with your creativity, your ability to generate ideas, to solve problems. So if you are encountering problems in your life, in your relationship, in your work, and you feel stuck, so very likely you can't think outside the box. You don't have fresh ideas or solutions to solve your problem, which means that the sacral chakra here is somehow blocked, and therefore you are not getting fresh ideas. Okay, and then the solar plexus is associated with your confidence, your self-esteem, the way you perceive yourself. So is this part here is having issues, then what happened is you look down upon yourself. Okay, you don't feel good. So when you talk to people, when you make your presentation, when you go for business meetings, you feel small. You feel smaller, lower in status, all right, than your counterparts, than the people whom you're talking to, instead of feeling as equal. Okay, then comes the heart chakra, the green part here, which is associated with all your relationships. Okay, relationship with your special one, your spouse, your children, your family, your colleagues, and even human beings, animals, and plants. Okay, so this is your love relationship. And you notice that the heart chakra is right in the middle. Okay, so it's right in the middle, that is fusing, okay, merging the top three and the bottom three. The bottom three has to do with your existence on earth. All right, now I'm going to the top three, that has to do with your energetic existence, your connection with divine, which is your throat chakra, your communication, ability to speak the truth, okay, ability and courage to share your views, your opinion, okay, to stand up, to be outstanding, to be able to say even things that people may not want to hear, okay, as long as it's the truth. All right, now the opposite is suppression of truth. You dare not speak up, so you will not be heard in your office, you will not be heard in the executive meetings, okay or not? So that will affect your performance at work. Then the third eye chakra here is associated with your intuition. There's a lot of noise in this world out there. Everybody is saying all kinds of things. A lot of the things that the facts, the so-called facts or information that we are getting, are actually false. And without your intuition, that means if you're not able to quieten your mind and then go inward to listen to your inner voice, or to be able to listen to divine truth, then what happens is you will be swayed all over the place. So you will feel what? Confusion. Okay, confusion, not being able to make decisions, you're unsure of yourself. Okay, so that is when your third eye chakra here is either blocked, okay, or is weakened. Okay, and the last one here, this is your crown chakra. So the crown chakra here is associated with authority. Okay, so if you have a strong crown chakra energy, it means that you have a healthy respect for authority. And if you are in the authoritative position, let's say if you are the CEO of the company, you are a minister, you are a politician, then you dare to project your authority. Okay, the opposite is then the fear of authority, okay, or you have a negative perception of authority, okay, and submission to the father figure. Okay, it will affect, if you're a father, it will affect your fatherly authority in the home, meaning that it will affect the way you manage your own household, okay, not just at work and the office, okay or not? So every of this energetic center here is important, okay, is very important. Now from the source of center, then comes the distribution of energy throughout your whole body. Okay, and that will be the role of the meridians. Okay, so meridians, you can see the different meridians. There are 12 main meridians plus a few others that crisscrosses all over your body. So this will ensure that the bioenergy will then be distributed to every part of your body. All right, so the purpose of the distribution of energy is to promote blood circulation, is to push and promote your flow of blood to reach every single cell. in order to deliver oxygens, nutrients. Yeah. So if you don't have a good flow of energy, okay, the first sign that you feel is your tips of your finger, okay, your toes and all that tends to feel cold. That's the first sign that your distribution of energy is not good, because it cannot reach far, the distance. Yeah. So over time it will affect the the health and the function of your cells as well as your organs. Now, the energetic centers here, okay, and all the cells in the body will then generate what we call a field. Okay, so the bioenergetic field, which is the field that the Healy and the MAGHEALY communicates with whenever you wear the Healy on your body. Okay, now from the chakras, each of the chakra will project its field around your body, okay, around the periphery of your body. So there are many layers, okay. What is known or taught right now is 12 layers, many layers. Yeah. So each of the layer here represent different planes, different aspect of your energetic body. Okay. And then if you look at the cell, okay, each of the cell here is actually having ions. Ions are actually electrical charges. So let's say you take salt. When you take salt and when you dissolve in water, what happens is it becomes sodium ions and chloride ions. Correct? So one carry a positive charge, the other one carry a negative charge. So when the charge moves, okay, it generate an electric current. Although it's not a very strong current, it still is measurable. And in the membrane, there is uneven distribution of this kind of charges. It's not limited to only sodium and chloride. There's sodium, chloride, potassium, phosphate, carbonates, bicarbonates, yeah, a lot of all these. So all this will move in and out of the cell. Okay, so it will generate an electric current. And the most commonly measured current is actually the nerve cell. Okay, the nerve cell. The nerve can only function if there is unequal distribution of ions. Okay, so one side will be relatively more positive, the other side will be relatively negative. Okay, so they actually measured a nerve cell that is resting. That means it's not firing the action potential. When it's resting, okay, it has a minus 70 millivolts. And not only the nerve cell, they found that in general, on average, they found that every single cell has a membrane potential, which is around minus 70 millivolts, plus minus on average. Okay, now, so Bruce Lipton, he is a biologist, and he wrote this book about the biology of belief. If you have not read it, go and read it. Okay, it's a good one. So he mentioned that every single cell in our body is like a battery, a small battery. Okay, now I went to check, our AA battery. We use a lot of AA batteries, okay, for your alarm clock, yeah. And then there is the triple A, which is slightly smaller, AAA, like let's say for your TV remote control or your air conditioning remote control, that size. Okay, one battery is how much? 1.5 volts. So 70 millivolts is about 1/20th, okay, of the current that is produced by the battery. So it is very weak. It is very weak, all right, not very strong. Okay, but although it's weak, 0.07 volts, your body has on average estimated 50 trillion cells. So if you multiply that okay, it becomes 3.5 trillion volts. It's a lot. And where do you find all this? So it's not only in the cells, membranes, and all that. They found that even DNA also have charges and voltage. The collagen in under your skin here also have that. Okay, not all this electricity. So basically, your whole body is actually electrical. Okay, yeah. And just like fireflies, right? If you have only one firefly, it's not very, very bright, correct? Not. But when you have a collective of firefly blinking even in a dark forest, it becomes very, very bright. So the collective electric field that is generated by 50 trillion cells in our body creates a huge field. All right. Now, why do we call it electromagnetic field? Now, according to a certain law, I can't remember, I think it's Gauss' law, whenever electricity or electric current flows, it generates also a magnetic field. So these two will exist hand in hand. So that's why we have a Healy and we have a MAGHEALY. Okay, so a Healy actually works on the electric field, and then the MAGHEALY, why is it called MAG? MAG is actually short form for magnetic field. So the MAGHEALY is actually reading and working on your magnetic fields. Okay, so we have these two fields, and these fields, okay, that I'm talking about is actually projected from every single cell in the body. Okay, so you have the auric field coming from your chakra, and you also have fields coming from each of your cell. Okay, yeah, so the shape is somewhat like what you see in the diagram here is called torus, Torus. Now, when you look at the body, it seems like hard and solid, right? But when it comes to the field, the nature of our eyes does not allow us to see, to visualize the field. It's invisible to our eyes, but nonetheless is there. It's formless, it's organized, but we can't feel it. We can't, not to say we can't feel it, we can't see it, okay? So it's not a closed system. It's actually an open system, okay, that connects from the human being to a much bigger field, which is the cosmic field. How big is the cosmic? Huge. Okay, so our field, like our body here, is a closed system. Okay, everything is contained within that physical body. But the field is an open system, meaning that there is no limit to how far the field can actually expand and extend outwards. Okay, so from your local field, it can actually merge and reach out into the Earth global field. And then from the global field, it can expand and reach out even to the universal field. And from that one universe, we have multi-universe that makes up the galaxy, and then multi-galaxies make up the whole entire cosmos. Okay or not? So it has the potential to reach out to the entire cosmic field. There's no limit to it. So you can imagine, okay, how big you can be. Okay, so don't limit ourselves to just that physical 3D human being. So at the energetic level, right, we can actually expand huge. So we can see the cosmic field, the entire cosmic field, as a resource that you can actually receive. Okay or not? So why are we stuck in our life? You see, why are we stuck in our life? Because our mind is small. We only look inside, like, meaning that when you need an idea, when you need a solution, okay, many of us are stuck with just using effort or using our mind, our limited mind here, okay, based on whatever information that we have to solve our problem. So sometimes we feel very stuck. Okay, not? Yeah. But what we are saying here is that we can actually reach out to a much bigger resource. Okay, and this resource here include the resource of every human being, okay, because we share the same space, so there is a collective wisdom there. And then if you look beyond, there is divine wisdom that we haven't even tapped into. Okay, now for me, I am learning how to tap into this much bigger resource. Okay or not? So even when I prepare for a session like this, yeah, I try to tap into the resource and ask for guidance, ask for ideas, you know, because it's not easy. I have so many sessions. Every session is like, okay, let me try and think of something and try not to repeat, right? Otherwise, the audience will feel bored, isn't it? It's like keep listening to the same thing. Okay, but there is vast, so vast the resource out there. Okay, and I tap into it. Okay, now, so when your mind think of much bigger things, okay, you stop actually being very petty about little things in your life because you're too busy. There are bigger things for you to attend to. Okay, so whether you are stuck financially, whether you are stuck in your relationship, okay, whether you are stuck at your career, okay, or whatever that you want to do, or your breakthrough in life, your transformation, okay. So all this happens because we are not able to reach out to the bigger resource. We are not tapping into that big resource. Okay, now why? Because to tap into that big resource, your field must expand. Okay, your field must expand. So when you are dwelling into fear, worry, anxiety, lack, okay, unforgiveness. So when you focus on negative things, what happens is your field contract. Okay, becomes smaller and smaller and smaller. So when you're smaller, you can't reach out and tap on the much bigger cosmic field. Okay, but when you are focused on the positive, okay, the way you do your business, okay, yeah, so if you project love, compassion, generosity towards people, towards your business partners, towards your employees, towards your family members, what happens is your field expand. Okay, then you'll find that every time your field expand, resources will come into your life. Okay, for example, like when I do my contribution here, all right, preparing and giving talks like that. So if I do it out of love for the Healy community, then what happens to my field is my field expand. Okay, and then I find that abundance come in unknowingly. I do not know where. Okay, so either people will refer, okay, and then there will be orders, and resource just come in, opportunities come in, partners comes in. Okay or not? So this is what happens. So when you are focused on the problems in your life, your field will contract, and then you get cut off. So in times when I'm not careful, that means when I entertain my own selfish thoughts, okay, or when I am unkind towards people, I can experience the contraction. Okay, and it can come in what? Sometimes I almost close a case, and then somehow the person turn around and say, okay, I don't want to buy anymore. Okay or not? So I'll go back and think, what happened? Okay. And in those times, I realized that in my communication, in my dealing with clients, okay, there can be a momentarily a selfish thought. Okay. that just come into my mind, and then I get cut off. Okay, so I learn from that. Then I have to learn. I have to therefore repair my field, and therefore go into expansion again. Okay, now, and that is the feedback that I get each one. Whenever something happens to my field, I get the feedback. Now, it is whether you are sensitive or not sensitive to the feedback. You may not be aware that it was because of certain things that caused my field to contract, that was the immediate symptom and feedback to me. Okay, but now as I become more and more sensitive to observe the reality, what happens in the reality, and what is happening to me, what am I focusing on. I get the immediate feedback, and right now what I do is I make the correction. Okay, if I caused my field to contract, I'll use the Healy to repair and then expand again. Okay, now as you expand, sometimes you don't think that it's only money that comes in. Sometimes it's your health. You are protected in your health. Okay, you don't fall sick. Okay, when you deal with, when you're in a public place, there are viruses, somehow you get protected. Okay, and that saves you medical fees. Yeah, and then you get resources. People remember you when they have something good for you. Okay, and that comes as a reward, as a resource for you as your field expand. Okay, so don't go and do that measurement and do the calculation. You do not know how the field okay actually do the equation one, or not. So focus on just expanding your field. So if your business is not doing well, let's say you're losing money, or you are facing, let's say, challenges, okay, in cash flow, in contracts, in your tender, in, let's say, leadership, okay, whether you are getting good manpower in your company and all that. Okay, look into your company culture. Okay, look into your own focus, look into what you're focusing on. Okay or not? So are you compromising on, let's say, the employee benefit? Okay, are you cutting this and cutting that, and therefore creating a lot of unhappiness in the employee, which will actually comes back to you because your field will contract. So when your field contract, when you do this to other people, all right, so the resource, okay, get redistributed to other people who are expanding in their field. Okay or not? Yeah. Okay, so this is something to consider in learning how to use the field instead of just using effort. So you may have the best effort, but if your field is small, okay, let's say you look at all the different, let's say in a community like this, right? So let's say if your field is small, and if there is a big resource, that means there is a person who is, let's say, a good business partner that you want to go for, okay, and your field is smaller than that person, it won't resonate. Okay, the person will not resonate with you. Okay, now, because like will attract like. So big business partners will not attract a small field. So a small field doesn't mean that in terms of the size of your company, you must be compatible. No. Okay, the field is talking about your whole entire stature. Okay, are you all resonant or not? So if you're resonant, okay, then you make good partners. Okay, so if your field is small, you attract the like. Okay, so if you are very negative, then what happens is you might even attract very negative partners, scammers, cheaters, like that. Okay, yeah, so expand your field. As you expand your field, you will find that your friends, the community of friends starts to change. You start find that better people are actually coming into your life. Okay, that's how I know that my field is actually expanding. Yeah. So When you focus on expanding your field, the resources, the partners, the business partners, the clients that you attract will actually becomes better and better. And I'm getting this kind of feedback, okay, from people who are getting like $1 billion government tenders. Okay, I am recently somebody was just started using the Healy for 2 weeks, and then she said, yeah, suddenly the opportunity starts to come into her life, you know. That's because your field is expanding. Okay, so it will naturally bring resources to you from different places that you may not even expect. Okay, now, so the old way of solving problems is always is like think, plan, you know, where to go and look for people, where should I go and network and all that. And then we ignore expansion of the field. Okay, but if you can expand your field, there is lesser effort required. So you are leveraging on your field. Okay, so how do you know that your field is contracting, shrinking, or even damaged? What kind of damage can happen to your field? There could be tear, rips and tears and holes. So the hole means it's like a balloon or car tire. If there's a hole, what happens is it's leaking. So it's whether leaking slowly or leaking very fast, it will cause the contraction. All right. Unbalanced energy flow, stagnant, dense energy. These are energy that has been negative and heavy for a long time. Okay, it's like you have dust. Initially, it's a thin layer. If 2-3 years you don't go and clean, the dust actually gather, it becomes a thicker layer, it becomes dense. Okay, cords and hooks are the people that you are attached to, especially if they are negative. Okay, it also includes, like, let's say, dense energy and other things also include negative entities, etc., etc. Okay, yeah, so how does all these things happen? Okay, so first we look at the symptoms. Okay, now if you the immediate one is tiredness, because the energy is leaking, energy is actually lost, and this can happen as fast as over a lunch with somebody. Okay, yeah, just having lunch and talking. After you leave that person, if you feel tired, or you come back home and then the first thing that you do is fall asleep, just lie down and rest. There was one time I met somebody for a business discussion. When I came back, I slept for 2 hours. It was like, whoa. Okay, so the energy was sucked. So this one will tell you, all right, you feel tired, or you can actually fall asleep, nod off without you knowing. Okay, so because the energy is drained from inside, a lack of enthusiasm, a malaise, okay, unmotivated, don't feel like doing anything, you just slumped there on the chair and then reluctant to move. Okay, yeah. Third one, you're not inspired. You don't, like I said, your passion is reduced. Okay, the it doesn't excite you. It's just a flat line, no? Like that. Yeah. Okay. It's like you are a living dead. You know, you're alive, but you feel like dead. Nothing can move you. Emptiness that is difficult to explain. Pain or discomfort in the neck or in the back. Okay. Yeah. Because these are pain, not pain that you've been having regularly. It's like you are fine, and then after that the pain appears. Okay, and that's due to sometimes exchange with people. Okay, bad mood, fits of anger, rage without justifiable reason. The rage, this kind of rage is like you do not know why. It's not within your control. You just flip. Okay, yeah. Tendency to see negative side of every situation. So whether it's a business deal, a business partnership, whatever, you tend to see on all the negative side. Okay, anguish, worry, anxiety for no apparent reason. Okay, you start to see lack and then you don't recognize your actions anymore. Okay, you tend to overreact because after you react, then you realize that, hey, that's a minor thing. Why am I overreacting? Or your spouse, your children may actually point out to you, is like, hey, why are you overreacting? It's a small thing. Then you know that something is wrong. Okay, yeah. All right, so you are triggered. Extreme anger, prolonged stress, anxiety, frustration, impatience, guilt, vulnerable to external energy. Some of us are very sensitive. Like myself, I'm very sensitive, okay, to other people's energy. Okay, I'll teach you how to protect yourself later on. Now, cords are more permanent because there is a longer term attachment to something, okay, or to someone. Sexual partners, it can be spouse or it may not even be spouse, okay. Parent and child can sometimes can form cords between each other because of the closeness, because of the intimacy between a parent and a child. Okay, now if let's say parent and child during puberty, all right, if they're very, very rebellious, okay, it becomes very, very difficult to manage. So you can actually form cords with them because you think negatively of them, or the child can think very, very negatively of you. A sexual partner's spouse that is having a bad marriage, okay, that means it's very, very challenging, and then you start to see each other's fault and start to think very negatively of the other person. So it's vice versa. So let's talk about ourselves first. So if we think badly about someone, so you send bad thoughts, blockages, obstacles. Okay, obstacles means you can try to create something to sabotage the other person. You send bad energy. Sometimes your words will curse the other person. Okay, I wish the persons will be scammed. I wish the person will fall down. Okay, I wish the person whatsoever. So when you're so angry, you are unaware of what you are saying, right? But every words that already come out created a vibration already. You cannot even take back. Okay or not? Now, every time you do this, okay, even if it's a thin thread, you form one connection with that person. Then you repeat it some more, you form another connection until it becomes a thick cord, like a cable like that. It's so hard to break. So every time you complain to another person, let's say about your spouse, about your business partner, or about your child, you are strengthening that cord with that person. It's an energetic cord. It's very hard to break free. Okay? Until you or the other person can get sick. Especially people with cancers. That's why I always talk to people who have cancers, is to clear their emotions, because they form a lot of negativity with at least one person in their life. Okay? It can be so bad that it causes the person to get sick. But in reality, what happens is the person that you're looking at is also you. There's nobody out there. I mentioned that before. It's you. So when you look at your spouse and you're cursing and you're setting bad energy, bad thoughts, bad words, whatsoever, you are actually cursing yourself, because the person is you. Okay, or not? So it's vice versa. So when you do this to another person, it boomerang back to you, because the person is you. And then you form a cord, okay, that is so hard to break energetically. Even if, okay, as a married partner, if you're divorced from the other person, you are still energetically entangled with the person. Okay or not? Yeah. So therefore, don't take all these things very lightly, because you want success, but then behind the scene, right? All these things are happening in closed doors when nobody can see, which you think nobody can see, but the universal field is all interconnected. So therefore, every area of your life has to be balanced. Every area of your life has to be healthy. Okay, no? Because one area that is unhealthy and chaotic like that is going to contaminate all other areas of your life. Okay or not? Yeah. All right. So reflect and look into every aspect of your life and see which are the areas where the energy is actually contracting. Okay? All right. Now, when you realize the importance of all this and what it's actually doing to you, okay, we can't do anything to the past. It has already happened. So what we can do now is the future from henceforth. How do we use Healy and MAGHEALY to make a comeback, okay, to expand, to repair our field? The first one is for leakage, energy leakage. If you feel tired, not wanting to move, yeah, that is actually a lot of leakage of energy, like a balloon, right? When it's fully inflated or nice heart shape, right? But let's say when you tie the knot, you didn't tie it tight enough and the energy is leaking, like party balloons, you blow it big, right? The next day when you go, all the balloons has shrunk to half the size. That's leakage. So for leakage, we will do support. You will supply back the energy. Okay, you have to blow it back to inflate it again, right? You can use chakra programs. Okay, so the Healy chakra programs, use all 7. It's only 30 minutes each. Use all 7. Okay, yeah, and normally we use in sequence from the root chakra onwards. So we follow the sequence of the alignment of the chakra. So we go from root, sacral, solar, heart, throat, third eye, and crown. So you use it in this sequence. Okay, you don't have to use all in one day, but you can do, let's say, 3 in one day, 4 in another day. Okay, so this is to expand, inflate, okay, to put back energy that's leaked. Now, the other one which you can use is actually the blue app, Resonance Database Alaskan Gem Elixir. So you can use this, which is also for the chakra. Distribution of energy. Okay, you can use, we have a lot of meridians, so why are there so many meridians? Very important, right? So you have Healy meridians, you have you have MAGHEALY meridians, you have Healy meridian 1, meridian 2, and then you also have the watch meridian. Okay, so you can use any of this. This is to promote the flow of energy. Okay, now to repair, this is for repair meaning, just now I said either holes, so you got to repair, or distortion of your field, weakening of your field. Okay, you can use bioenergetic support, bioenergetic boost. Okay, bioenergetic boost. Okay, so which field does it actually help you to repair? First is your organs, okay, your cells, which is for the physical body. So you can see here that there are frequencies for cell function, rejuvenate, revitalize your cell, for healing, for circulation, for your membrane, because we talk about the electric charge in the membrane, so it has to do with membrane permeability, it's anti-inflammation, allowing you to sleep. Last session was about sleep, right? So it's during sleep that the body carry out the repair, the detox, the cleansing, and all that. So you have frequencies that will help you to sleep, to repair, regenerate, to strengthen your immune, and then you have muscle, Okay, ground your energy, calm your nervous system, etc. So there are frequencies that helps to repair your cellular field, which will affect your organs and tissue function. Now, for your mind, for the thoughts, okay, these are the frequencies that's related to your brain, your thoughts, your ability to focus. Okay, emotional clearing, mental clearing, energetic purification, detox, all kinds of detox. So the detox from the organs and also detoxing your thoughts, mental focus, all this. And then the third type of frequencies will be for your field, for your auric field, your subtle field, your energetic field. Okay, which is this for energetic balance, and then for higher awareness, that means to reconnect back to the cosmic field. So when your field contract, okay, we lost that connection with the divine resources. All right, so when you repair, expand, will increase your awareness means it's your receptivity, you know. So sometimes when the idea wants to come in, you block it off because you are not aware that new ideas are coming in. So this will actually help you to enhance your antenna receptivity to new ideas, new information, okay, new intuition that is actually coming to your system. Okay, heighten your perception here. So activate your nervous system. Why your nervous system? Because your nervous system is actually like a Wi-Fi, okay, that or a satellite that is reaching out, that is actually open into the much bigger field. Okay, these are your little antenna that is receiving from the universal and cosmic field. Okay, all right. Now, then after you have pump in your energy, expand your field, repair, the next thing that you want to do is to protect your field. Okay, so don't let it get damaged so easily. So for protection, we use bioenergetic defense. This is one of my most frequently used program. Okay, yeah. Besides the gold cycle, which we all use a lot, I use a lot of bioenergetic defense because I'm sensitive. You know, if the person, let's say, have stomach issues, okay, after meeting the person, when I come back, I can actually feel stomach discomfort. Okay or not? Because that energy, I get sucked from my energy in that particular area and therefore weaken. Okay, so that is like doing an energy donation. Okay, so we do a blood donation, okay, to help other people. So when you are interacting with somebody with weaker, lower energy, for example, somebody who is sick in the hospital, so when you visit, you make that person very happy. That's one. And the other thing, that your contribution is in terms of energy donation. Okay, I mean, it's not that it's a bad thing, it's a good thing, but when you come back, you must know how to put back the energy. Okay or not? Yeah, so it's just like blood donation, correct or not? So on normal healthy days, you eat so that your blood is healthy, then you go and give blood. After you come back, you will replenish your nourishment so that your body can produce more blood for you to donate again. So it's not a bad thing. Okay, so I'm not saying that you should close up and not meet people at all, but you must know how to actually protect yourself. Okay, so we do this general protection and cell harmony. Cell harmony here is to protect you against infection when you go to hospitals. Okay, yeah. General protection here is against negative entity, because negative entity tends to dwell in places that has very low energy. Okay, so you do not want to bring the white friend home. Okay, so you do not want all this other unfriendly entity and bring it back to your house. Okay, all right. Yeah, so you put that protection on yourself, okay? Because if your energy is low, let's say if you're a caregiver and then you spend a lot of time in a hospital and your energy is drained, when your energy is low, you tend to attract other negative entity and they just stick to you, okay? And it's so hard to get rid of them and your life will be affected. Okay, if after interacting with these people and your life went topsy-turvy and suddenly things just go haywire, all right, business deals get cut off and all that, then you know that something is really wrong there. Okay, so you go and check your field, go and clean your field and protect your field. Okay, then yeah, so this will be general cell harmony. Okay, now sometimes we may not be aware, but we are affected by planets and by the earth. So the earth sometimes at certain spots produces negative energy, which I mentioned some time ago, geopathy. Go and refer back to sleep. We talked about geopathy there. So you may be affected by geopathy, and that will also cause disturbance to your field. Okay, but if you are sleeping on top of this kind of negative field, then and you have no other place to sleep, but you just have to sleep there, at least protect yourself every night with defense geopathy. Now, planets, inclusive of moon. Some of us are very sensitive to a full moon. Okay, on the 1st of the lunar calendar and the 15th of the lunar calendar, people have told me that plus minus 2 days of that full moon, they feel restless, they feel moody and becomes very emotional. Okay, very easily irritated and they do not know why. So it's actually the moon, the influence of the field of the moon. And then especially bigger planets like Saturn, Jupiter, you know, these are big planets, and when they move, orbit around the sun, okay, it also generates huge disturbances to the field. All right. Now it's like when a dog runs, you don't feel the ground shaking, right? Okay, but if there's a rhino or an elephant that is running on the ground, all that, you can feel the vibration on the ground. Okay, so big planets like that, okay, even though we are far away, we can still feel the disturbance. Okay, so when you check, like today, just now before I started, my planet was actually 65%. 65%. Okay, yeah, so I'm being affected by planetary energy right now. So that's why I turn on my defense. Now, this period of time, I don't know whether you notice or not, when you do the 5x5, do you notice that deep cycle and bioenergetic harmony keep appearing in the 5x5? Okay, I analyze for about 4% every day, and all 4% is showing bioenergetic harmony deep cycle. Okay, and then somebody showed me another chart today and I also saw deep cycle and bioenergetic harmony. Okay, now is it coincidental that so many people are seeing that in their 5x5 chart? Okay, so deep cycle bioenergetic harmony is about your organs. Okay, so your organs, if you feel discomfort, it could be because of movement of planets, okay, that is affecting you. Okay, now the other one is protect your sleep, mental, subtle, and electrosensitivity is to build that protective bubble around you. Okay, so this is to protect your subtle, your auric field. Okay, when you're sleeping, okay, it also protect you from noise. Okay, mental, that means it protect your mind so that you are not affected by what other people say about you, especially negative things. So you don't dwell on it. So you, instead of thinking and repeating what people say about you, quickly turn on mental defense so that whatever that they say will actually bounce off your field. Okay, so that's the way to not engage with negative people. Okay. All right. Now, cleansing, energetic bath. We need to bathe. We cleanse, we detox our gut, right? So we do a lot of detoxing and then we do cleansing. So this is energetic cleansing. Okay, taking an energetic bath. So there are a few ways to do it. You can use, if you have Healy obsidian, you use the energy cycle. Earth ray will be for the negative geopathy and all that. Energetic cleansing is to clean your field. Just now we saw what sludge, right? Dirty things that is stuck to things. Yeah. So this is the cleansing. Defense negative energy, any of the negative entity that is near, attached to you, following you around. Okay, so protect yourself. You can use energy cycle. You can also use the new program. This is a new program. And this one is called under McMakin Plus, Space Clearing. Space clearing. Okay, this space clearing is you take the MAGHEALY and then you put it on your abdomen. You put it on your belly. Yeah? Okay, so this one here, what kind of frequency does it have and what can it do? Since this is a new program, I'll go into more details about it. So you just put the MAGHEALY on your belly and then it cleanses your field. Okay, energetic discord, fractured field after an argument, tension or emotional turmoil. Okay, open up your heart space for love, compassion, acceptance. So this is to expand yourself. Unity with the community. So this is expansion. Okay, and then dissolve any energy of betrayal or broken promise. Okay, and then clear away anxiety, panic, insecurity, and create a sense of safety and protection. Then you have others like 88, 87. Agitate, no? That means it's to shake it up, anything that is stuck. For example, like your shoe when you step on the bubble gum, okay, yeah, then it's like refuse to come out, right? So like all those negative entities, okay, thoughts, all that is to shake it up. Yeah, release any deep-seated fear, oppression, depression, apathy, and then what else will it do? Okay, reset your energy. Any karmic ancestral imprints, it will help you to release that as well. Soul level healing. Okay, now 65 here is to shake and loosen primordial fears, survival anxiety. These are the ones that cause you to feel the fear of lack, okay, in terms of money, in terms of love, your safety and all that. Yeah, so this will get rid of all this kind of deep embedded fear. Okay, so 35, dense stagnant energy. Then 102, grief, sadness, heartbreak, loneliness, isolation. 94, resentment, frustration. Okay, any of your creative blocks, relationship that's stuck when your projects, okay, your projects, assignment, like you feel lots of obstacles and not flowing properly. Okay, so this will help you to smoothen the flow. Volatile emotions, okay, very easily irritated and reactive, extremes. Okay, it will transmute your negative emotions, toxic gossips, rigid thought patterns. Okay, then clear your channel for intuition. Yeah, so this is your connection to the cosmic wisdom. So clear the channel, okay, clean it up so that it can start to flow to you. Okay, cut all these karmic ties. When you cut karmic ties, there might be people who will leave your circle. Okay, let's say friends who don't know for whatever reason suddenly turn against you or stop calling you or stop taking your calls and don't want to, or discommunicate with you completely, that means your karmic ties is cut already. So no more connection really. So yeah, so just let go. Okay, don't go and think why this person suddenly disappear and walk out from my life. It may happen. Okay, yeah. So that's okay. Geopathic stress, and this one, some time ago people asked about black magic. Okay, if people put a curse or black magic or do any energetic harm towards you, okay, or you are obsessed by certain entity, so you can use this for energetic exorcism. 17 here, generational karmic curses and all this. Yeah, it's okay if you don't understand. It's also okay if you don't believe in all these things. So you just take it as cleansing your field. Okay, just take an energetic bath and do a reset of your system. Then you will find that your life will start to flow in a smoother way again. Okay, yeah. Okay, so there are a lot more others, so you can refer to this later on. Yeah. Okay, now then apart from your own energetic field, there's also the space around you. Okay, because why? The space around you will be the energy imprints, okay, or footprints that is left behind by other people. Okay, for example, when you move into a new office that has been previously occupied, or a home, you rent a home that was previously occupied, hotels, for example, where there is high turnover of people. So by the time you go in, you don't know how many people have left their energetic footprints in there. Okay, and then you may contaminate, and then this energy come into your space and affect you. Okay, so clean the space. Now people who have cleaned the space have told me weird things surfacing in their lives. Okay, it's like there was one story of a person using MAGHEALY to clean the space, and then the cat, don't know for whatever reason, went to the back of the console. You know, at the living room they have a console where they put the television. Okay, so this is like a cabinet basically. So the cat actually went behind the console and then took out a certain packet of stuff that when they open up looks like weird things. So they immediately discarded it. Okay or not? Yeah, so amazing things happen, right? Like that. Okay, so yeah, so you never know. So therefore, clean your space. So Chitra has a question: how often do we clean the space? As often as, if it's your own space, let's say your office, your room, your house, you can do it like once a week. So it also depends on whether you have guests to come into your house. Like let's say today is the Ugadi festival celebration, and then lots of people come into your house. So before they come, you clean. After they leave, you clean. Okay or not? Then you also look at situation in the house. So if there was an argument, okay, quarrel, discord, okay, between spouse, between parent-child and all that, that will be a time to clean the energy after any of this argument, discord. You see or not? So you want to transmute the energy. So yeah, so I can't say how often to clean. You have to sense, okay, the energy in the house. All right, especially if people behave differently, like bad mood and all that. So you can just clean the space anytime. Okay. Now each time you clean, how long? Okay, do you need to clean? At least 2-3 hours. Also depends on the size of the space. You may want to move your MAGHEALY around, okay, different corners to just do the cleansing because it has a 2-meter radius. Okay, so the energy cleansing here is to bring the space into alignment with cosmic order. Okay, sacred, make the place sacred, clear the energy so that you feel grounded, you feel safe, harmony and peace. Dissipate harmful, negative, stagnant energy patterns, which include germs, also those negative entities that you don't want. EMF, Wi-Fi also, some of this also it will remove some of this. Okay, frequency of planets, yeah. Then what else? Okay, certain frequencies will actually vibrate. Mortal oscillatory rate means it causes the vibration of mold, aspergillus mold. So where do you get molds in the house? Your carpet, your cushion, cloth material, and then your curtains. Yeah, so these are places that absorb moisture, and then the fungal spores land on all these surfaces and all that. So certain frequencies vibrate so hard that it kill the germs. So it will you can kill all these molds as well, chatter molds, especially if the person has allergy, etc. Then, okay, recalibrate your space to support your brain, your heart, your DNA, so it also support your body as well. Okay, and then what else can it do? Meditation, so you can do energy clearing before your meditation so that you invite in energy of higher consciousness. Okay, what else? Fear, guilt, shame. Okay, yeah, here again, they call it energetic antibiotic to sanitize your environment. Any psychic debris left by previous occupants, anything that is lingering in the space. Okay, because I mentioned before last year in one of the space clearing, I mentioned that furniture absorb all this energy. Yeah. Okay, all right. So this is what we do to help ourselves. All right, so you can either use it directly, you can use either the electrodes with microcurrent, with coil, with your high wave, or you can use your MAGHEALY. Okay, so you can use any of these means to deliver the frequency to yourself. Okay, what intensity to put for MAGHEALY energy clearing? For energy clearing, when I want to clear a big space, 100%. Okay, as big a coverage as possible. Okay, if you find that the room or the space is much bigger than your 2-meter radius, then you move the MAGHEALY after 2-3 hours to another area so that you can cover the entire big space. All right. Yeah, duration minimum 2 hours to 3 hours. Also depends on the size of the space. Also depends on the whether it's a regular kind of cleansing or the first time. First time you may just want to cleanse it for 24 hours. You can put it on the charger, atmosphere program, you put it on the charger and you can run for even 4 hours, 9 hours or 24 hours. So I hope that you have been sharing with at least one person every week about the benefits of Healy and MAGHEALY, because we want to build this Healy collective, the community. And I hope that this session here will attract more and more people to attend. Okay, so share with all your Healy users, Healy friends, to attend the session or to watch the video recording if they are not able to attend, because all this knowledge will help your lives. Okay, instead of struggling alone, leverage on your energetic field to tap on resources that are much bigger than each of us. Okay, so we always think that, okay, I don't have access to rich people, powerful people, and all those things, but each of us have access to the cosmic field. Okay, and that energy will actually do the matchmaking for you. So you actually have resources, okay, that extend all throughout the world. So don't think that you don't have resource, okay or not? So tap into this unlimited resource. Okay, so the information that we provide here is purely educational purpose only, and I'm sharing from my personal experience. All right, so if you're learning from me, please apply your own discretion, your own judgment to evaluate that what you're listening here by checking, okay? Do your fact check as well as rely on your personal experience with using the Healy. Okay, so Healy here is a wellness device, so it should not be treated as a substitute or a replacement to a conventional, okay, medical advice, diagnosis, and treatment. So we use Healy and MAGHEALY to support our field. So today we are going to talk about what is this energetic field. All right, so let's begin. So for those who are seeing me for the first time, hello and welcome to the Healy Advanced Training. I'm Christi Wong from Singapore. So this is my background. I have bioenergetic profiling coaching experience for several years, I think about 8 years now. Okay, I am a A-level biology educator. So my background actually is in biology and science, and I ventured into wellness education for many years now. All right, so I am very fascinated by Healy and MAGHEALY, as well as the bioresonance technology, which I was exposed to many years back, and therefore have used Healy and MAGHEALY for almost 4 years now. All right, so until today, I'm still fascinated by the functions. I'm fascinated by all the stories that I get from Healy users from everywhere, so it has helped people with all kinds of problems in their life. And that's what I like about Healy. It's so practical.